Hello, this is Ellen with Women in Trucking Association. And today we're interviewing Gretchen Jackson of XPO Logistics. Gretchen serves on our image team, and so we'd like to get to know her a little better. So Gretchen, tell us about your job and what you do at XPO Logistics.
Hey, Ellen, thanks for asking. So my name, as she said, is Gretchen Jackson. I started here way back in the days of Contract Freighters Incorporated in 1991. So I've actually been here for 25 years. It's really kind of a crazy story. My mom abandoned me whenever I was 18 years old. And eventually I had to find a real big girl job. So I started it as a file clerk, and I moved my way up through the safety department, the HR department. And in 2005, I became the manager of driver recruiting, promoted to senior manager of driver recruiting several years later, and has been here ever since, just working with drivers, dealing with the people, and trying to offer good positions to a wonderful group of individuals.
So you've actually been there a long time, but when did you know what you wanted to do? Like, how do you know that recruiting is the right area for you?
I tell you, recruiting is the right. I am a driver advocate, and I can't express to you just how much I enjoy working with the people. It's all types of people, all different personalities, and it is something different every day. And I'm a people person. I could talk to anybody. It doesn't matter who you are, if you're a multi-billionaire living on the hills in New York or whatever, or if you're just a stranger walking down the street. So it's really why this position fits for me, because I can work with just about anybody.
So what's your biggest challenge as a woman in the trucking industry?
It's not necessarily just me being a female in the trucking industry. I'm a pretty bold person. I tell it like it is. I don't beat around the bush. My biggest challenge is just, like I said, I'm a driver advocate, and I respect drivers as a whole. It's an uncomfortable job. It's a challenging job. You're dealing with all of the weather, picking up and delivering at all times, and they just trying to change the perception of the industry. I mean, our professional drivers should demand some respect. I mean, if we all have our things, what we like, what we like to purchase, even the homes that we live in. If you have it, a truck brought it to you. And I struggle with the word trucker, because we are not truckers. We are professional drivers, and that's what we need to be calling them. And just the image of the industry is my biggest challenge, and I just try to do everything I possibly can to change that, so that people know and understand the challenges and the trials and tribulations that our professional drivers go through.
I agree, totally. So tell me something that surprised you about the industry.
The people, again, I mean, it's just so fun to deal, and it's so fun for me not only to deal with people, listen to their stories. I mean, and I listen to everybody's story because I love it. I don't know if I'm nosy or if I'm actually engaged into the individuals, but I love to listen to the stories and look at the pictures of the kids, and me just being able to deal with or enjoying the people. It kind of surprised me. I mean, and it maybe brings me out of my shell a little bit more. I don't hesitate to talk about my families, and, to work with all different types of people in any types of situations.
So what do you think you would be doing if you weren't in the recruiting area?
I know that. I can tell you this. So I would actually be a nurse. And for whatever reason, if I fall out of transportation, I'm going to go back to college to become a nurse, because, as I said, and it would either be labor and delivery, because I love to see the babies and helping people of that way, or it would be the emergency room, because I'm a mover and a shaker. I got to be busy all the time. I have to be running around. I'm not really good at sitting at a desk. So it would have to be something. I would love to be a nurse, but it would have to be pretty quick pace.
So tell me what you think, how the industry has changed since you've been in the trucking industry.
Oh gosh. Well, I tell you, after 25 years, it's a lot has changed, and the options that drivers actually have. We started, I can remember whenever I started in 1991, there was only a handful of even females or teams, and they certainly did not run by themselves. That's what they were, is they were a husband and wife team or a significant other in a team. So I know that we have grown our fleet 12 to 14%. just the entire XPO truckload division. So that's in-house and out and the over-the-road drivers. But bringing those individuals in, the types of equipment, the safety and the safety techniques, the safety equipment that they're installing in the trucks, the size of the trucks, the air ride. When I first started, they had 28-foot trailers, and then it went to 32. And now we're at, 48-foot trailers.
53.
53, right. Oh gosh, I forgot. I left out the 48. Now we're at 53. So, just everything has changed.
Well, and for you personally, the name of your company has changed a couple times since you started as well, right?
Yes. So it was Contract Freighters Incorporated, CFI, and then Conway Truckload, the over-the-road division, and now it's XPO Logistics. It's part of a huge organization. It's been a fun journey for all of us. Things are finally kind of starting to calm down, and we all understand our roles and our places. And I'm still in recruiting, and I'll still be looking for the most professional drivers out there and working as an advocate for them, regardless if they work for my company or any other company out there.
Well, you kind of touched on this already, but one of the questions that I wanted to ask you is, what would you like to say to people outside of the industry?
Oh, you just have to understand the challenges. And I'll give you just a brief description of some of the challenges. I could never do this job. I could never do it. So Friday, we had a new driver come out of orientation, unfamiliar with, he was a newer driver, but had some over the road experience, unfamiliar with the industry. So it's 105 degrees outside, and old Gretchen gets up and walks him around and takes him out on the lot. After 5 minutes of being out in that heat, I was literally melting. I could not imagine if I were in a back of a trailer trying to unload trying to unload boxes or throwing tires out of the back of it. And people need to understand that this is a very, very respectful job. It's labor intensive, and it's very, very challenging. And they need to respect those individuals that bring their stuff to them. That's what I call it, is stuff. Like I have my Yeti. I guarantee you, a truck driver brought my Yeti to me. Right?
Right on.
I'm just saying.
No, you're correct.
It's stuff, and they bring it to me, and it's always it's in perfect condition. And who knows what they had to go through, if they had to drive up and down mountains or through a snowstorm or a tornado or anything just to get me what I ordered. It's a very respectful job, and people need to respect those individuals that do that hard job.
So my last question for you, Gretchen, what would you tell a woman considering a career in the trucking industry, either as a driver or in some type of leadership position?
Obviously, I feel like leaders should start from the bottom. I really do. I feel like leaders need to understand and empathize and be able to build themselves up and grow within the industry so that they can understand the challenges. But just do your research. So if you're a student driver, and I talk to student classes all the time, and I've done a lot of interviews, over the road may not necessarily be for you. Car hauling may not necessarily be for you. I ask that you do your research. You know exactly what you're looking for. If you need to be home every night, then you need to go to an LTL division. If you need to if you're interested in loading and unloading to keep, up in shape, then maybe flatbed is it. You just need to do your research. You also need to, especially as a female, we all have different challenges, obviously, than men. And you need to be able to have a lot of safety equipment. You need to know where the safest places are to park, the safest rest areas to stay in, and just know your location and your surroundings. But research is my number one encouragement, just so that you know what you're getting yourself into.
That's great advice. And I think for anyone looking at any new industry, it's great advice.
Yeah.
Well, Gretchen, thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we close?
No, I just appreciate this opportunity. Thank you so much, Ellen. If you ever need anything, give me a shout. And to all my other professional friends, drivers out there, if you ever need anything or have any questions, feel free to give me a call.
Well, and thank you. And we appreciate you being on the Image team. And thank you for doing this interview with us on CFF Nation.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.